It's Gary Hullette. Again, welcome to my studio. Today I thought I'd talk about something that we do all the time. It's just basic 12-bar song pattern. We call it a blues, but it's not really. Or it can be, you know. But anyway, we thought that we're going to do it in the key of G. And take that very first chord, G, and then a very simple scale is, of course we know that, plain old Ionian scale. Now if you do a G7 or a G13, once you think of G7, you should automatically think G13. And the reason why is because that scale, those notes give you a bunch of chords off of the, there's an F natural, and that is basically just a C scale starting on the G, commonly known as the Mixolydian scale. But you have a lot of chords inside that scale. So I'm playing off of the C scale, just the different chords in it. That was a Dorian mode. That was a Phrygian mode. This will be an Aeolian mode. And that all fits under the G7 or G13, like we like to call it. When you think of a 13, when you automatically got a 7 chord, the 13 gives you all those other chords for the key of C. D minor, E minor, F major 7. So when you're playing, you can use all those chords against the G7 or the G13, like we're going to think. So that gives you a whole bunch more stuff to fool with. And if you transpose that to every one of the other chords in a 12-bar pattern, then you have a whole raft of things you can choose from. So anytime you get to a specific chord, if you look at that chord as being all by itself, like an island, well then you can do a bunch of amazing different things harmonically. So you got your first chord would be G7, 13 like we said. Second chord is C7, C13. Then you're back to G7, 13. Then you're back to C7 again. Then you go back to G. And then for the modern blues, you always go to a 6, some form of 6. Or its tritone, which would be, instead of E, would be some form of B flat. Then you go to A minor, then some form of D or A flat, and then you're back to G. And so each one of those chords individually and so your simple little 12-bar pattern can be a lot of fun to play on. That's why the old players back in the 40s and 30s and 40s, like Charlie Parker and those guys, they got hundreds of songs they called different names, Billy's Bounce. And they would write out interesting little melodic patterns off of just a 12-bar song form. And it was a lot of fun. They enjoyed doing it. And it gives you a lot of freedom to play. And of course, the modern players, it's unlimited. That's why music to this day in 2015 will always be called theory, because it's never gonna be an absolute fact. So you can't say this is a 12-bar pattern that must be played as a blues, because the young rock guys don't play it that way. So anyway, we talked about the G13, G7, and the 12-bar pattern. Next time, look for me. I'm going to come up with some ideas, or maybe just a simple minor blues. So thanks for visiting. See you next time.